Hi, I'm Annie Michos, and I'm going to talk to you about some assessment terms and how they relate to reading instruction. The first one is reading and literacy assessment. So, a reading and literacy assessment is any test that measures phonics skills, fluency, writing, reading comprehension, phonemic awareness, and vocabulary. An example of a reading assessment would be a running record, where a student reads a passage and a teacher puts marks on it, talking about what they did good and maybe some mistakes that they made. The teacher can then use that information to guide her instruction, form some groups of what the kids need help with. A reading literacy specialist role would be to support the teacher, to group kids accordingly, and help the teacher make plans and provide lessons to help students with their needs. Um, and teachers can help make goals with the kids so they have something to work for. So they know what they need to do to improve. Next one is language assessment. So this is a language assessment that tests kids on their English development, tests them in listening and speaking, reading, and writing. We use a test called the LPAC in California, where they are tested on their English language proficiency. Students receive a score of a 1 to 4. So what the teacher does with that information is she groups the kids, the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s, and she can really work on English language development at that particular level. The reading literacy specialist role could be to help with testing. It could be to help with groupings. It could also be maybe pulling a group and supporting the teacher that way, or helping her or him make lessons. And students would just know that English language development is the time where they're going to work on lots of speaking. Diagnostic test is it's a measures student skills in reading that contain vocabulary, phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, comprehension. The test helps the teachers guide the instruction moving forward. Some diagnostic tests can be done online. Many times they're done throughout the year, beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year. And it's really nice to show growth of the students. It's also a great resource to show parents so they can see each category and how their student is, how their child is performing. A role of the reading literacy specialist could be to help by pulling a group of intensive students. It could also be just helping the teacher plan and group students however she needed help. And the students just know that on this test, they just need to do their very best and that they'll be given the correct amount of time. Remediation is when we try to correct or fix a problem. This can be done in many ways. It could be done through direct instruction. It could be done with a whole class. It could be done with a small group. It could be done one-on-one. So it could just be reteaching a lesson to a certain number of kids, or maybe reteaching a lesson to the whole class. It's just working on that targeted skill, and maybe the teacher needs to change the way she taught it the first time so the students can understand the concept a little bit better. Role of the reading literacy specialist could be to pull groups to support the teacher, or assist her in whole group lessons if it was a whole class reteach. And a good way to do this is to peel the onion, where you have all your kids, you're teaching a lesson, and you're like, oh, okay, you guys are doing great. You can go work independently, keep a couple, send a couple more back. So just kind of start peeling them off as you see that they need it, and then the ones who really need your help are there with you. Intervention. So intervention means we need to intervene and get in there and help the kids who need it. And this is data-driven. It's using research-based approaches to help these students, working with the Tier 3 and Tier 2 students mostly. And a reading tool for this that we use is Gateway to Learning, which is a multisensory approach. It's really hands-on. It's very scripted, but it's great. This intervention helps with closing the gap. It's targeted lessons to improve those specific skills. Reading language specialists could help by pulling a small group, or again, just helping the teacher plan lessons. And last is progress monitoring. So those kids who are in getting the remedial lessons or remediation lessons, these groups need to be progress monitored. We need to see that what we're doing is effective and that it's working. So we use DIBELS to test. And really, you just need to make sure that you're using the same assessment so you can see growth. And then the teacher can take this progress and maybe rearrange her groups. Literacy specialists could help by polling students, and then just share the progress with students to keep them motivated. Thank you.